I mentioned in the last video that we might have to have yet another change around in here, but rather than me just catering to my design or spatial layout whim, this time it is actually for a very good reason. I mentioned in the last video a few updates of what is happening because we're going to be travelling a lot, like 50% of the time now, sort of a month at home, a month away, etc. And that means that my mum is going to be staying here a lot, looking after the puppies. I did update everybody why on the last video. Zal is very interested in the tripod. Please don't knock it over. So I did update everybody why in the last video, so if you want to know why, please go back to that video and watch it. But there needs to be a few changes in this space. And like always, I truly believe that the best way to learn or relearn what you need in the space is to go without for a while. Now, the specifications of what I need this new space to be for are: we still need to be able to seat 2 people, possibly 3. Now, obviously, we have a chair, we have this. However, there will be 2 dogs in this space. Dogs that also like to have a chair or a seat. And what we've also learned is that the table isn't working, and I'm going to explain why. So, in the last video, or it wasn't the last video, it was a couple of videos before that, I mentioned how finally our 2 desks had gone. And even though I love those desks, they were just too long. And I didn't think about that because if you can all remember back, when I bought the glass desk, it was originally supposed to go in this window, only the sun is so powerful coming in the bay window, it burnt our carpet on the edge of the glass table. It was like going through a magnifying glass. So we could never have it there, which meant there was nowhere else to put it, and it was always a problem. So then I obviously had a rising desk, and that was great for my back. But again, the smallest that sponsor, because that was a sponsor how I got that desk, could give me was 100 centimetres. I thought it was going to be okay, because I thought I was always going to have it in either this alcove, recess, or the one in the far corner of the bedroom, which I've just painted black. The other ones are even smaller. These ones are 100, but the ones sort of on the inside wall, they're only like 80 centimetres, 70, 80 centimetres. So there was nothing or nowhere I could put that desk. So I knew I had to start again, go back to the drawing board. So we finally managed to sell them. And the reason I managed to finally sell them is because I basically let them go for nothing. A lot lower than what I was willing to do before. But better than having stuff around that you don't want. Now we have a slight problem in that this that we were using as a dining table has become quite problematic. As you can see at the moment, my partner and I are sharing it as a desk because it is the only kind of table now that we currently have. But here lies my problem. When I got this small table, because I was only thinking about the fact that I just needed it to be just small enough or large enough to be able to have 2 computers, perhaps if we were working opposite each other, or 2 plates for when we're eating. Only these chairs, which I absolutely love, and in fact any chair is usually about 45 centimetres wide, they don't go under. Because of the splayed legs, which again I absolutely love, they don't go under. To be able to have a splayed leg table and yet be able to fit under, it would obviously have to be wider, so you didn't have to get right up and under, i.e. the diameter larger. But we just haven't got space for that in this home. And ironically, although this desk has definitely served its purpose because we've had Zala for 6 months now, she has learnt the etiquette of not coming to bother us while we're eating, although my partner and I both kind of have to sit semi-sideways while we're eating because we just can't get under. It's kind of served its purpose. She's learnt that etiquette, so much so that if we now go back to the sofa, if we're ever eating a little snack at the sofa, she's not like a rude dog that begs for food. She's learnt that. So I guess you can all kind of get what I'm getting at. This table is going. I then have to really consider what I'm going to do with the chairs if we don't replace the table. But for the time being, I'm taking the dining table out of the space. I do have an idea of something that I would possibly like to get in place that I've seen on Amazon resale, which will also fit the parameters that my mum is going to need when she's here with Bronte. So let's move this and then let's discuss what else is happening in this space. I may even have to move the space around a bit to accommodate this new feature. Right, so we're going to take the table out of the space just so that we can have a little bit of a look. We obviously still need the fan, but just for now I'm taking it out of the way. Herein lies my thoughts. This sofa is the perfect size for one person plus a dog. That chair is perfect for either a dog or a person, but it still leaves us short of seating for about 2 people. So I'm thinking of moving the white chair there, seeing what that looks like, possibly moving the white chair out of the space and upgrading to a longer version of the white chair, but in a different colour, because we've learned a few things about black. And then I obviously cannot work without a desk. I work from home, but I'm contemplating attempting to stand at the kitchen counter. So we're going to try all these things out in this video. So for now, when Zala moves off that chair, I'm going to see what it looks like over there in that corner. And we might even get the hammock back out. Let's do that. Excuse me, little one, could I move this chair, please? Are you coming? Are you coming for a ride? Yes. Are you coming for a chair ride? Are you coming for a chair ride? You coming for the chair ride? Yes. You're coming for the chair ride. Chair, chair, chair. Now in theory, I quite like the look of that. We have all this space over in the window. However, I just can't do that to Zala. Zala has so much entertainment from looking out of that window. I just can't do it to her. I really, if it was just up to me and I didn't care about Zala's well-being, I would probably keep it like that for a while, with the hammock back in the window and something that we're getting here in front. But I have to say, a large part of Zala's entertainment is sitting on the top of that chair looking out of the window. So I just can't do it. I'm going to put the chair back for Zala and not get the hammock out because I just can't do it to her. She just loves it over there. And let me tell you about the thing I'm going to get. So I have seen on Amazon resale these long, thin coffee tables, because what hasn't worked in the past is if they've been too wide, because we actually only have about 2 meters here in front of the sofa. So if the coffee table comes out too far, it invades the walk space, it invades Zala and Bronte's play space. So it needs to be thin and narrow. It also does need to be high because Bronte is a tall dog, and when they play, she's likely to knock drinks over with her tail wagging and things. So it has to be high-ish for a coffee table. But there is a trick to this coffee table that I'm sure some of you can guess. It is one of those coffee tables that rises up and can convert into a desk. How good it will be for eating and working from, I don't know, but at least I do have the backup of attempting to use the kitchen counter. We will see whether it's the right height in just a moment. But I thought I was going to have the hammock there, but I just can't. Look at her. She's already wondering why she can't see out of the window. So I have to move that back. But we still have the problem that even with the chair there and this here, I feel like it is enough seating for when perhaps Johnny and I are away and it's just my mum and the two dogs dog sitting for us. But when it's the other way around and my mum might be away without Bronte, it's not enough for me, the dogs and Johnny. There's kind of a seat missing. So I'm gonna probably get this first thing from Amazon resale, this coffee/desk table. But I feel like I need to upgrade to a longer one of them for everything that's going to be happening over this next bit of time that we're here, so that we can all be comfortable. Obviously, if you don't know everything that I've talked about in the updates in the last video and you want to know why all this is happening, please go back to the last video where I explained it all after the first 3 minutes of talking about our carry-on luggage. We also like the idea with this other new coffee table desk, there is storage in it for our laptops, because that is becoming a problem. As you probably all saw, I just moved my partner's mountainous laptop out of the way with all the other stuff he has with it, like a mouse and a headset. So that's becoming a problem. So this new coffee/desk has that. Anyway, let's see whether the kitchen counter is the right height for me to stand and work. Let's go. So there is the possibility that if I think that is too low, which currently it is, I think when I used to have the standing desk, it was about there. There is the option of having the laptop raiser. Let's have a look at how big the screen looks, how high it looks. Don't get me wrong, it is not at the perfect height, but I think it might actually save my back a bit. I could potentially work from there for a bit. So that is an option as well. Right, I'm not going to leave Zala like this. We're going to move her chair back for her and possibly try moving the sofa up that way. Let's have a look. Go. You've got your chair back, darling. Oh, you've got your little chair back. Yes, you have. Don't you worry. Yeah. Right. Let's try this up here instead, because we're not having a table or a desk. We don't need all this space up here. And if we bring the coffee table in here, it might be nice if it's also close to the chair. So let's have a look. I'm not sure just yet. Maybe it needs to move further up. I was trying to imagine what it would look like if potentially we had a longer version of that chair there and then the coffee table here. Is it going to feel like wasted space behind there? Like with all these things, we can only experiment and try. So I'm going to move this up. I might live with it like that for the night, and then it might give me other ideas about what I want to do. So let's move it right up. One thing that I used to like when I had this, well, not this sofa, but the previous sofa like this before, was that it hides the Wi-Fi modem thing, which I really liked. Weirdly though, the sofa being right up there kind of makes the room look quite a lot narrower, because before, with the sofa being up this end, when you walked in, you had the illusion you were walking into space. Right, let's have a think about this. So let's do this part as if I am doing a tour. So we do have all this space here. Also guys, please excuse the fact that there are bits on the carpet and it's looking a bit grubby. Our carpet cleaner is broken. We're waiting for it to be repaired. So in the meantime, it's just pan and brush, but that is quite difficult. So these are the options with the room like this. I personally think it does look more spacious here, but obviously not over there. But the benefits are it hides the broadband unit. If we ended up swapping this chair out for a longer one, obviously this sofa would have to move up a tiny touch this way so that they kind of met each other on that corner. And then we could have a coffee table there. That would keep Zala happy because she would be able to still see out of the window. And you could say then there would be at least seating for everybody, because really technically that does kind of fit 3 people. And there's always the option that you could get the hammock out and move whatever seating option we decide to have there. Perhaps a 2-seater version of that could potentially go here. Now obviously that would look silly in everyday life, but we're talking about just on an evening when you all wanted to relax and watch something. There's also with that the possibility that later, if we decided it didn't work for us with just the rising coffee table desk, because I don't know what it will be like sort of sitting forward to use it. I don't know if it actually comes right over to you or not. I won't know till I get it. If it doesn't work, there's always the possibility that we could have a very small desk in that corner with one of the chairs. So I am going to hang on to one of the chairs for now, but I think everything else is going, because it just now is no longer fit for purpose for what we need it for. So this is the first part of probably 2 videos to come, in that I'm getting the coffee table / desk off Amazon resale. You know, at the end of the day, it saves it going to landfill. It will come in useful. I'm hoping it comes right back like this, so you can just sit on the sofa and work, and change that up with also sitting or standing in the kitchen. But the next thing I need to contemplate is whether to just keep the one chair or upgrade to a slightly longer chair. So more like a sofa version of the Caterpillar chair, a Caterpillar sofa. So we've got a little 2.5-seater and a little 2-seater. Right, that's quite a lot of thinking. That's quite a lot of thinking. I hope you've all enjoyed this fun bit of having a move around to begin with in preparation for the coffee table that should be arriving in a couple of days. So I will show you the outcome of that at a later date. I hope you've all enjoyed this extra video this week. I will see you, or Zala and I will see you, on Thursday. And look what they did for us at the coffee shop this morning. Isn't this cute?